Welcome back to You'll Go Wild. So we've got excellent news. The chickens have started laying and it's been hit and miss, but because it's starting to warm up a bit, we're getting regular eggs. So we've started to incubate them. This is a really old incubator that we had when we lived in another house for the kids to watch eggs grow. We know it works. It's actually, well, we've hatched eggs on it before a couple of times, so it's actually quite good. The only problem is you can only do 3 at a time. But we've only got 2 days to go, and they're doing well. As far as when we've candled them, you can see that it's dark, something going on in there. Anyway, but in 2 days we'll see something start to move. I've just put in the little tray at the bottom, the yellow tray. That's to stop the rollers getting them when they start to crack. So very exciting about that. And this is fully automated, so it does all the work for you. You don't have to do anything. You just choose the kind of egg it is, which is a chicken, and then it does everything else. It keeps the humidity at the right temperature all the time. We also bought, well, I got for Christmas actually, a Janolan 24 incubator, because our plan is to obviously to incubate lots of eggs and then either to sell the chicks or sell the fertilized eggs, and also to pop them in the freezer. So that's our plan. So we needed a big incubator. With this incubator, once they've hatched, you have to change the flooring and take out the slats. And obviously, if you have eggs in here that are more than a couple of days difference in size, then there's going to be issues with the temperature and all this, and so you might end up losing the older egg, or the younger eggs, should I say, not the older eggs, the younger eggs. So we had some going in here originally, and we left them for a week, and then we started the small incubator going with 3 extra eggs in there because we wanted to make sure. And unfortunately the eggs that we put in weren't fertilized, or at least they might have been fertilized. They started and then they didn't do very well. We used the original temperature, which was set at 38 degrees, so we think that's a bit too high. This one is, I think, set at 37.5 really, even though it says 37. So we're giving this a try. We've reduced the temperature, and so far we can see that there is definitely fertilized eggs. Well, at least these 5 are definitely fertilized. These 3 are suspicious, which is why we've put them on this side. We're not sure whether they're just late in developing and showing, and that's why we can't see them, the actual the egg forming as well. There's something going on in the shell. It could be that they've just died. It could be that just they're not fertilized and the eggs are going wrong, whichever. So they're just going to sit there for a bit. I'll give them another 3 days, maybe 4 days, and if they haven't changed, then they'll go in the compost bin. I did read about whether you could actually use them still after they've been in the incubator. There's mixed debate on whether they're viable to eat. We're not going to take the risk. It's not worth it. We're not that desperate for eggs. So we will see how things go. And but one thing we do have to do before the next 2 days is make a box for them to go into to live in for a few weeks. So that's what we're going to do next. We woke up this morning to discover a new baby chick, a day earlier than planned, so we need to get on with the brooding box. After a bit of debate on the size, we measure and cut out the base of the box along with the sides. We're using up leftover bits of plywood, so it's not going to look pretty, but it will do the job, and I don't think the chicks are really going to mind too much. Once the pieces are cut to size, we start to assemble the box, screwing the sides to the base, then using pieces of batten wood to support the corners, adding a little extra strength. So the chicks can't escape their new temporary home, we hinge a mesh lid to the top. This not only stops them escaping, but it also stops predators getting in. We finished the brooder box just in time before the second egg started to hatch. It's amazing how contorted their little bodies are in the shell. This chick actually took nearly 3 days to break out, even with his big feet. It's hard not to intervene, but doing so could damage the skin of the bird and cause infection if it's stuck to the fine feathers. But it's not long before the eggs in the big incubator start hatching. These eggs didn't take long, and before we knew it, a second one started pipping. Nothing like a little helping hand from a mate to set you free from your shell. So we've transferred the little chicks, to 2 chicks that will hatch today, into the other box. So this is just a little temporary box whilst they're inside, and then we'll move them into the bigger box that we built. And this is the hen, or chick, we don't know actually if it's a hen yet, that was born, I think she was born, or it was born 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. So it's amazing how much difference in size they are already. And it's already starting to get its little feathers, its flight feathers, which is quite cool. So I think he's sort of happy that he's got a friend now to sit there. He was very lonely on its own. And obviously the other chick that we had was deformed. He couldn't put his foot down, one of his feet down, and a chicken with one leg really doesn't work. So unfortunately we had to help him on his way. A little bit sad, but it's nature, unfortunately. But these 2 guys, even though they're sleeping, they're tired because they've just spent all day trying to get out of their shell. Actually quite feisty, so we have good hopes that they're going to be okay, like this one. We're just hoping that hens are not roosters, because we want the hens to breed. But worst case scenario, if it is a rooster, it doesn't matter, because we'll just eat him. At the end of the day, that's what they're for. Right, I'll let them rest. So there's another chick, or another egg you can see just there. It's pipping. And so hopefully, I reckon by tomorrow morning that will be might be out. And the other eggs, we're just waiting. They're a couple of days behind the others. So there should be, I think there's 4, they're a couple of days behind. And one was we're not sure. So we've marked on the sheet the dates of when they were bought, when we put them in, not necessarily when they laid, when we put them actually in the machine. And there were 3, I think, that we weren't sure about. However, one of those has hatched. So what we thought wasn't viable actually hatched in the end. So we just got to wait and see. Okay. Hopefully they all hatch, but logically they don't. unfortunately. That's just how it is. So these are the little chicks that we had in the incubator. I didn't quite manage to time all their hatchings at the right time, so unfortunately you never got to see them. Some were just little cracks and you think, oh, that's going to be a while yet before they start to hatch out, and then 10 minutes later they're out. They all seem to take different depending on, you know, I suppose how strong they were feeling at the time, who knows. So you can see them. They're not too bad. These lot are all pretty much a similar size because they came out the big incubator, and this one was the one that had a whole week's head start on those, because they came out the little tiny Chinese incubator. I don't think they're both Chinese. So he's or she, we don't know what they are yet. I haven't tried sexing them. But that one's at least a week old, and you can see it's already starting getting his little flight feathers on it. It's amazing how quick they grow. There is one in there that was only born yesterday. But I can't work out, see which one it is now. They're all nice and fluffy. They've been put in a little cardboard box for the time being. But the bigger one, out of all of them, likes to jump out, so we had to put this nice bit of mesh on top. So the new box that they've got, or box that we've made, is much better. So they've got a lot more space, and they'll be able to run around and play. And we'll put that in our container house. But yeah, so one of the issues we do have with them though, unfortunately, is they do like to get in their water, push all the paper and poop in it. So that's my job for the morning, is to clean them out and set them up for the rest of the day. There you go, all done. Doesn't take long to do. What I'm going to do is find somewhere to raise, get something, a disc or something to raise the actual water container off the ground so that they can't keep shoving the paper in. So I'll turn the heat lamp on and leave them alone. That's it, done for the day. Whilst I'm playing with the chickens, or the chicks, and he's doing some real work, clearing the vines. So I need to go and give him a hand. So if you remember, we had a massive big vine going across here. This was a wisteria plant, and it blocked the view from the lounge window. And it was overgrown and just taking over the place. So what we've done is we cut it all back, and now we've got to dig out all the roots. Now wisteria is a bit like lantana. It's invasive and quite annoying. So you can see the roots, and they go for miles, and they're really hard to pull up, and this doesn't help because it's a really hard clay floor. So I'm just having way too much fun on the tractor digging this up. We don't want to dig big trenches into the ground, so we have to grubber out some of the roots by hand, which is hard going. the roots can be dug out because they are just too deep. So we cut them back as low as we can, and they hope they don't grow back. And it's by the magic of television. Ta-da! It's finished. Well, it's nearly finished. And you probably can see there's lots of little highs and low bits and stuff. We raked it all out as trying to get it as flat as possible, but because we dug in big holes, obviously this soil has to bed itself back down. So we're just going to leave it for a bit. This side's a bit better than the other side because there was, I think there was more clay down that end compared to up here. We'll leave it now and let it settle, and then we can grass it, because it was originally grassed. We need the grass to stabilise the soil so it doesn't just wash off into the septic tank. It's down there. Yeah, it's taken us 2 days to do this. It's quite back-breaking. Even with tractor, which we're practicing still at, so be kind when you watch the video. We're not excavators, and it is quite a challenge actually to get that, to use the all limbs and stuff going on and not really seeing what the bucket's doing. So it's quite a challenge, but we'll be experts by the time we finish playing in the farm. Alright, I'm going to go and have a nice cup of tea. Until next time, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share.